It's coming in on the RSS feeds.
You are not alone.
It's on my phone, too.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. At 12:07 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, numerous unidentified objects of unknown intent of unknown origin were detected at all altitudes over multiple locations of Earth's outer space by the National Radio Astronomy Observatory. It is not known if more than this aircraft will arrive or if they will attempt entering Earth's atmosphere, but it is highly recommended for all citizens of the United States to monitor local media outlets as more updates will follow as information becomes available.
Shalom. I want to start off by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect who are continuing to fight and teach this thing of ours in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Manatazak with GMS Ancient of Days in Los Angeles, currently teaching with the small sanctuary in Inglewood, and today through the Spirit I want to get into a lesson entitled Realm Against Realm. Okay, now the reason I titled this lesson what it is through the Spirit is in light of the new information coming out on the congressional hearing against UAPs, okay, where they took another step towards quote-unquote full disclosure on the UAPs, which are the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon, which is an acronym that they recently came up with to replace UFOs, which is the more commercial term. The unidentified flying objects. Now we know through the Spirit, whether you want to call them UFOs or UAPs, we know what they really are. Okay, they're unidentified and mysterious to the common person, but for us that are open up to this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, we know them as the chariots of the Most High, or the chariots of Israel. Okay, vehicles from another realm. Okay, no, it's not little green men, okay, with big heads and large bulging eyes, or reptilians, you know, as people like to claim that they are. Okay, these aliens, or these foreigners, if you will, are identified as the angels. Okay, the celestial beings from the heavenly realm. Okay, now Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the hopeful elect, because what I'm going to do through the Spirit is go through the different precepts and show you that as fantastical as it sounds, you know, something from like a sci-fi film or a sci-fi movie, the UFOs are actually real, okay? And they're starting to show themselves ever more presently here in these last days here in Babylon the Great, okay? And it's not just the brothers that are starting to, and when I say brothers, I mean the Akim at the different camps. It's not just us that are looking up and seeing them, but the common folk are starting to see them at a more alarming rate. When you look at all the registered sightings here in Babylon, okay, Babylon is lit up like a Christmas tree as opposed to the other places around the world, because this here in Babylon the Great, which is America, is the great scene of future judgment. Okay, and it's going to be the main deliverance of the Lord's people, which are you so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans. Okay, the chariots are going to breach this atmosphere. They're going to enter this realm, or crack the clouds, as the apostles and elders famously say. Okay, and they're coming to deliver the Lord's elect and deliver judgment, okay, to the wicked and to those slated for destruction. Okay, so we're living in some very exciting times through the Spirit. Okay, and as foreign as it may sound, the saying holds true that this place is going to be invaded. Okay, this is not just some comic book or sci-fi movie. The planet Earth is going to be invaded. It's going to be invaded by Yahweh Shemel Shai and the heavenly host. And it's going to happen in your lifetime. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to begin in the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 18. It says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai." And we know that woe means destruction. So this scripture is basically saying destruction unto you that desire the day of the Lord. Okay. Now, why would it say that? Okay, because we grew up in the Christian church, the Catholic church, wanting and hastening the day of the Lord, and rightfully so. Okay, but growing up in religion, you have a whole complete different mindset on what the day of the Lord actually is. True indeed, it's going to be a beautiful day, but it's going to be a beautiful day for the elect, for those not slated to make it, that have been destined to destruction. Okay, it's going to be a terrible day. In the time that the Lord's going to come, this earth isn't going to be all sunshine and rainbows. It's going to be in a place of complete chaos. Okay, it's going to be a lot of terrible things happening during the time of Yahushai's return. And these are the times that we're entering into now. Okay, everything's not going to be all lovey-dovey. And the Lord is coming back. He's coming back as a man of war. He's not coming out to pass out candy and flowers. Okay, Amos 5:18, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Ashai, is darkness and not light. You see, so the day that Yahushai comes, okay, it's not going to be a fun time. Now, true indeed, us in this truth that have the unction to teach, that understand these scriptures, we're hastening the day because we know what it means for us. And I say that humbly speaking. These are the days that we're looking forward to, because we know, pursuing the prophecy, okay, that before the day of the Lord comes, there's a process of things that have to take place first. Okay, that's why you hear us here at Great Millstone hastening the day, and we're constantly prophesying and preaching about destruction and judgment. Okay, famine and woe, civil unrest, World War III, the charagma, which coincides with the fall of the dollar. All these things need to take place before the day of the Lord, and these are the things that we're starting to see set up, in our daily lives. Those of us, with the eyes to see and the ears to hear. That's why you have the watchmen stand upon our watch, proclaiming these things, so you know what time we're in. So when that day of the Lord comes, it won't take you as a thief in the night, like it will most of the world. Okay. Verse 19, it says, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand against a wall and a serpent bit him. Okay, that's pure turmoil to the point where you have no rest, and judgment, if it's slated for you, will indeed find you. If you run from a lion and you escape, don't think you're safe. Okay, because you're going to lean your hand on a wall to catch your breath, and the snake's going to bite you. Okay, it's like Final Destination. Judgment is going to find a way to you, and there's no escaping unless you have the protective hedge of Yahweh Shem Shai over you. Okay? Verse 20, shall not the day of the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it? Okay? So the scriptures are continuing to reiterate the point that the day of the Lord is not going to be something fun. It's going to be something terrible. Okay, a time like never before, if you will. Okay, and there's no depiction in cartoons or comic books or in the movies that can depict the second coming of Yahushai quite like the actual event. Okay, because even us in our wildest imagination and CGI images and Photoshop and AI generated images can come close to touch what's going to take place when that day actually happens. All right, but even still, okay, us in our right minds are continuing to hasten the day, because we're hoping to be counted amongst those that are slated onto deliverance. Okay, and that's part of the fear of the Lord. Let's see, Matthew 10:34. This is red letter. So these are the words of Yahushua himself. It says, think not that I am come to send peace on the earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Okay, so the Lord is coming for judgment. Okay, great judgment. So for all of you that think that it's going to be a glorious, beautiful day, okay, if you're not part of the Lord's elect, then it's going to be the complete opposite for you. Okay, and what's scary about this is that this is a warning and an exhortation, okay, to the Israelite and non-Israelite alike. If you're not an Israelite, you have no hope of making it regardless, because the Lord is only for his people, and Yahushua is only coming to deliver the elect of his people. So what does that mean? That means if you are not part of the elect and you're an Israelite, okay, then you're going to be destroyed here with the heathen. Point blank, period. And there's no easy way or nice way of putting it. Okay. Let's get the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13 in the Apocrypha. Okay, 2nd Ezra chapter 13. And I'm going to begin at verse 30. Okay, and it says, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. Okay, now that he is talking about Yahushua, he shall come to the astonishment. So he's going to come with a power that hasn't been seen before. Okay, as much as we've been on the highways and hedges and putting up video epistles about the Lord's return and how he's going to return, when the reality actually happens, it's going to take the majority of this world by storm. Okay. And as much as we bring it out and as much as they've heard it, the reality is going to be that much greater. Okay, the scriptures even go as far as the detail that this great deliverance that's about to happen during the second coming for the Lord's elect, that rapture, okay, as the Christian church likes to call it, it's going to be so great that the grand deliverance that the Israelites went through during the time of Egypt, okay, with Moses, and the splitting of the Red Sea is no longer going to be spoken about. And that's being spoken about to this day. So how much more grander is this next deliverance going to be for the scriptures to detail it in such a beautiful way? And I'm roughly paraphrasing it, but just to, put it in context, okay, of how great, okay, the second coming of Yahushua is actually going to be. All throughout the scriptures, Old Testament, the Apocrypha, the New Testament, it speaks about the day of the Lord. And that is the day that we're continuing to hasten. All right. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 30 again. It says, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. So this is already letting you know that during the time of Yahushua's return, it's going to be during a time of civil unrest. The Egyptian versus the Egyptian, race wars, okay, class wars, but most importantly, and this scripture is one of the inspirations behind this lesson, it says one realm against another, the realm of men, okay, against the fourth dimension. When Yahushua comes with the heavenly host, it invades this place with the angels and the chariots. Okay, it's going to be a quote-unquote alien invasion. And when I say alien, that just means foreigner. Okay, and the angels, these celestial beings, are indeed foreign to this reality in this realm. Okay, and we the prophets, the men of the hopeful elect, are desperately looking forward to this day. Okay, because that day is going to be the end of our faith. Everything that we have preached and taught is going to be here in the forefront. We're no longer going to have faith to believe it, because we're going to see it. Okay, us that are still here to experience it. And Lord willing, us doing this work in truth and sincerity are counted amongst that lot. Okay. Continuing on. It says, verse 32, and the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and when the signs shall happen, which I showed thee before, and then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. Okay, so it's going to be declared and known during that day that the one coming to wage this war against this earth and its forces is the Son of Man, Yahushua, the same man that we saw ascending. Okay, when he went up into that chariot, scriptures say the same way that he left is the same way he's coming back. Well, he's going to come back on that chariot. Okay. Verse 33. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. Okay. So during the time, so basically this is basically saying that during the time of World War III, when all these nations are fighting against another, when they see Yahushua, Okay, they're going to stop quarreling against each other, and they're going to mount a counteroffensive and come together to try to fight the Lord, which is a joke. Verse 34, and an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion, and Zion shall come and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. Okay, so this is also during the time where the elect are going to be changed and beamed up. Okay, and this is a day that we're looking forward to. That righteous abduction, if you will. Okay. Let's see. Let's get there's more I want in 2nd Ezra, but we're going to end it with that. We're going to get Isaiah 31 and 13. Because it's all throughout the scriptures, the way the Lord's going to come back. Isaiah 31, verse 13. Wait. Is that right? Let's see. No, 31 and 3. Because when you go to Isaiah, the 31st chapter, the headline reads, the Lord will protect his people. The Lord has always promised to protect his people. Okay? His people is the point. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I'll begin at the top. But the point I want is in verse 3. But this is Isaiah 31, beginning at the top. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many. Once again, that woe is destruction. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. What's the modern day Egypt, or the modern day place of bondage for us Israelites? It's here in America, Babylon the Great. So destruction unto all you Israelites that continue to trust, okay, on this so-called white man and his system, which has done nothing for the prosperity of our people. Okay, here it is. We just had this election, and we had all of the Israelites clamoring, fighting, and arguing against one another on whether to put two heathens in office over them. Okay, which is when you go to the law, we're not even supposed to be voting to put heathens over us. But that just goes to show you how far our people are. Okay, it's stuck in this Stockholm syndrome. They're so far gone that the best hope left for them is to be destroyed. Okay? Because they can't listen to reason, and the Lord is blocking them from the understanding. It says, I'm going to start again. Isaiah 31 at the top. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. So you think just because Babylon is bragging about its military might and all its different weaponry, that they're strong and that they can be trusted and that they're going to protect you? Well, it's going to be quite the opposite during the time of Jacob's trouble, which the scriptures specifically mention as a time like never before. But a time like never before for who? For Jacob, the Israelites. Okay? It says, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord, Yahweh Shemashai. It says, yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When the Lord Yahweh Shemashai shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fall together. Okay, now this is very important to understand, because true indeed, Esau Edom has his blessing, which is a sword, and he has his jet fighters and his missiles. But the scriptures are saying that the horses of men are flesh. Horses going into the different chariots and machinery and the different armament of warfare. It's all flesh. It's all made of elements by the hands of men. But those same instruments of war, okay, from the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shemashai, from the fourth dimension, they're not flesh. They're spirit. So how much more powerful are they going to be, okay, when they come and challenge the authority of men in Esau Edom? The scriptures say that there's this place, Babylon the Great, is going to be destroyed in an hour. So how much quicker the armies of men that come against the Lord? It's going to be a flawless victory. They don't stand a chance. They're going to be destroyed by their own blessing and by the almighty power of Yahweh Shemel Shai and the heavenly host, okay, led by Yahweh Shai. Okay, it's going to be a beautiful time. We're going to stay in the book of Isaiah, but we're going to jump to chapter 66. Isaiah 66, okay, beginning of verse 5. Okay, it says, "Hear the word of the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, ye that tremble at his word. Your brethren that hated you, that cast you out for my name's sake, said, let the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai be glorified. But he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed." They're going to be ashamed because they're going to realize when Yahweh Shai returns, those that are being delivered are the same ones that were on the lowest totem pole of society. The same ones that were held captive, that were looked down upon, that were cast out, taken as a proverb and a byword. You so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans. Okay? Verse 6, it says, "A voice of noise from the city, a voice from the temple, a voice from the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai, that rendereth recompense to his enemies. Before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered of a man-child." Okay, and this is going to the Lord, comforting the humble with different marvels and different miracles. Okay, because he hasn't forgotten his people. And we are in the time now where the Lord is about to show his hand and prove to you who he's been dealing with this whole time. Okay. Let's see, it says, verse 8, "Who hath heard such a thing? Who hath seen such things? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? Or shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. Shall I bring to the birth and not cause to bring forth? Shall the Lord Yahweh Shemel, saith the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai, shall I cause to bring forth and shut the womb? Saith thy power. Rejoice ye with Jerusalem, and be glad with her all ye that love her. Rejoice for joy with her, all ye that mourn for her, that ye may suck and be satisfied with the breast of her consolations, that ye may milk out and be delighted with the abundance of her glory." So regardless of the state of Israel, what this is going to in a nutshell is Yahweh Shemel Shai once again always holding favor for his people, promising to increase us in due season, and promise to bless us and nourish us abundantly in due time. And that time is upon us now. As the scriptures say, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And we are living in those times now, where we're going to see the downfall of Esau, Edom, and the rise of Jacob. Okay. Let's see. Let's jump down to verse 15. It says, "For behold, the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire." Okay, "For by fire and by a sword will the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai shall be many." Okay, so this is going to be during a time of war, during a time of chaos. The missiles are going to be in the air. Nukes are going to be going off, and the elect are going to be delivered. America is going to be made desolate, and the elect are going to be changed, and watching the destruction of America, okay, from the spaceships, if you will. And once again, I understand how it may sound, but the reality is going to be that much greater. And those that don't believe are just going to be that much more astonished by what they're going to witness in that day. And you can't say it wasn't told you, because you're hearing it now from the mouth of the prophets, okay, who are standing upon their watch and warning the people. Our people first and foremost, but also declaring with confidence the judgment that's going to befall you nations. Now let's close it out through the Spirit in 2nd Ezra chapter 13, beginning at verse 8. Okay, so we're going back to 2nd Ezra chapter 13. Let's see. You know what? I'll begin at verse 2. Verse 3. It says, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when you turn his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. So this is going into Yahweh Shai. Okay, coming back with that fathership, with the host of angels, okay, in formation. What the world ignorantly calls UAPs or UFOs. These are the chariots of Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai, the chariots of Israel. Verse 4 says, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. Now this is talking about the lasers from the chariots coming from the epicenter of the ships, or from the sabers or the guns of the ships. Okay, you seen Independence Day, right? When that beam of energy charged at the epicenter of the chariot and came down with a concussive force of energy. Okay, or when those sabers came out in the movie War of the Worlds, and those beams of photon energy, you know, was hitting the people, and it basically instantly what would you call it? What's that word? Instantly cremating them through the spirit, incinerating them. This is what the scriptures is talking about, the type of weaponry that's going to be coming out of these ships to subdue the people and the armies that come to fight against the Lord. Remember, this is one realm against another. Weapons from the fourth dimension that we haven't even seen are going to be made present and put on full display here in these last days. Verse 5, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Okay, out of the sea, out of the heavens. Okay. So just like in Independence Day, when those jet fighters came and banded together to try to fight against that alien force, that's the same thing that's going to happen during the culmination of World War III, where these nations are going to stop fighting against each other and they're going to turn their attention to the bigger threat, Yahweh Shai. Okay. It says, verse 6, but I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place where about the hill was graven, and I could not. So this is Ezra's basically saying, in this vision, it was like the Lord was flying upon a mountain. But it wasn't an actual mountain, because if it was, he would have seen the place or the region where it was erected from. But this mountain, this spaceship, is coming from the fourth dimension. And that's how huge it was. It was likened unto a mountain. Okay? Remember, this is parabolic talk that Ezra is using to describe what he's seeing, okay, with the knowledge that he has during this time. That's why it's so important for the prophets to come back in their same lot and break it down in layman's terms so you can understand what he saw, okay? And that's exactly what the prophets have been doing. There's going to be an invasion here on planet Earth, okay? Verse 8, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been, a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. So this is poetic talk. Okay, the Lord isn't actually going to leave the ship and dirty his garments. Okay, as it details in Isaiah the 63rd chapter. That's all parabolic talk for how much destruction the Lord's going to come with. Okay, all that damage that's going to be done on this earth and the wicked inhabitants therein are going to be laid down by these lasers from the chariots. Concentrated fire, beams of light and lightning coming from these ships. Okay, verse 11. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was sore afraid. So when these chariots hit these people, and these different instruments of war, these different tanks and jet fighters and helicopters and bomber planes, there's nothing going to be left but dust and smell of smoke. And that's the type of destruction that Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai is coming with. So this space force that's been erected to try to fight the Lord, all these new generation jet fighters and stealth bombers and missiles and laser weapons is going to have nothing, okay? They can't hold a candle to what Yahweh Shai is about to come with, okay? And we're desperately hastening this day and looking forward to this day. As great and as scary as it's going to be, even as Ezra's detailed, we are excited for this time. Because after the culmination of this grand moment, okay, that's about to eclipse anything that's happened in history up until this point, the sovereign rule of the Israelites is going to be erected, okay? And we're hoping to be counted amongst that governing body that's going to rule this next world to come in righteousness. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. I want to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect who are continuing to fight and teach this thing of ours in truth and sincerity. This has been your brother Manatazak, and contrary to popular belief, we are not alone. Shalom.